you know us women, we can build a whole life with a person in our mind alone. We can fall in love on imagination alone. Hey Shugg, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing well and you are enjoying your day. If you're new here, my name is Ashley. I create, girl, at this point, lifestyle, style, girl. I need to change my tagline pretty much because I've been creating a whole lot of different stuff. So I need to change that. But welcome, we are so glad to have you here. So hop in the comments and we hope that you stay with the community. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video. So y'all, this video is going to be a little different. I haven't done a sit and chat in what feels like a few weeks. So I wanted to do one off of something that I just actually did not too long ago during Bible study. And I was like, yo, this is going to be a good sit and chat video. Okay. So I was like, Lord, bless me with what to say because I read over Samson's story in the Bible during the Bible study. And I was like, this will be a perfect relationship sit and chat video. So today's video is going to be, you have already seen the title, girl. Today is going to be 5 things that you guys should remember when dating. That man is distracting you, boo. And these are the 5 things you need to know before you keep letting him distract you and just go ahead and stop letting him distract you. Amen. So let's get into the tips in today's video. Again, this is all stemmed from my Bible study. I was reading over Judges. I was reading over Samson, and this story is in Judges 13 through 16. Even if you're not Christian, honestly, I feel like this is still going to be a good sit and chat topic regarding what you should think about when you're dating out here in these streets. And honey, especially in today's 2025 of dating scenery, because it is words have not been invented in what it is today. Okay, so be ye careful. you know what I'm saying? I wanted to go ahead and do a sit and chat in what I learned when I was going over Samson. Yeah, if you want to read this, y'all, it is a really good, interesting, quick story in the Bible. It's 3 chapters. I know that sounds long. It's not. It's very quick and it's very interesting. And you're going to be like, you know, as many times as I was when reading it. So go ahead and read it if you want to see what I went over. I'm going to reference certain scriptures in the chapter every now and then, but honestly, the main point is the dating part that I actually got from this study of the Bible. So let me know if you guys want more of these things that I have come up with after having Bible study in certain chapters, child. And we can probably make it a thing if this works out. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I have my little iPad right here to keep me abreast. Okay, tip number 1 is to be self-aware and know your boundaries and or deal breakers before you even start dating. Okay. Now I got this from reading Judges 14, like the first few scriptures of Judges 14, where Samson got infatuated with the Philistine woman, and immediately he was like, shawty fine. Okay, shawty fine, she bad, I want her. And then he went and told his mom and his daddy, and his mom and his daddy like, boy, let me tell you something. Why can't you find somebody else in your own camp? Why are we looking at Philistine women? So pretty much he's an Israelite. Him and his family are Israelites, and he is interested in Philistine women. Philistine? I feel like it's Philistine. Let me know. He's interested in those women because of what they look like. He's attracted to them, but they are not equally yoked. He is like, I don't care what the Israelites stand for. I don't care what the Philistine women be, who they be worshiping and all that they be doing. I don't care about all of that. I want her because she fine. I don't know if he didn't know who he was or if he just didn't care. Basically, what I'm saying is know who you are. You got to be equally yoked. I mean, especially if they're not going to waste your time, you have to be equally yoked with this person. This person needs to be someone who is going to, y'all coming together is going to lift both of you up quicker and not drag the other down because of whatever. And that's vice versa. That's on the man's side and the woman's side. You know what I'm saying? Equally yoked doesn't mean, oh, if they're skinny, then you have to be skinny. Or if they make this amount of money, then you have to make this amount of money. Or if they're interested in this, then you have to be interested in this. No, there are going to be differences. If y'all are the same person, that's boring. I don't know what that. It may be a little boring if you are exactly the same person. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be exactly the same person. You may have a lot of interests and dynamics that are the same, but you are not the same person. What I'm saying is pretty much know who you are. I'm not saying know what you bring to the table. Know who you are. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What are your preferences? What are your boundaries? What are your standards? What are your non-negotiables? Know those things up front before you even put yourself in a space to date. What is your purpose purpose of dating. I know when I'm dating with the intent of marriage. That may not be yours. You may be dating someone and you just kind of want to put your foot out in the water a little bit, test the waters a little bit. And you may end up with somebody and you're not ready to get married, or you're not ready to settle down. Whatever that is. I'm talking based off of and women like me are most likely dating with the intention of marriage, especially Christian women 9 times out of 10 are dating with the intention of marriage. Have some self-awareness of your strengths, your weaknesses. And that doesn't mean you need to be perfect before you put yourself out there to date. I know my mouth slips sometimes. That's a weakness of mine. I'm very much aware. However, can't nobody tell me in the dating, I'm aware of that. And I know that's something that I, should or should not, kind of pay attention to when I'm out there in the dating streets. So just know who you are. If you don't know your deal breakers and have established your boundaries and your standards ahead of time, then you will settle for any old body. And like I said, if you don't want your time wasted, you need to know those things before walking through the door. If you're someone that knows that you love to travel, but you're spending time with someone who does not want to travel, but he cute, why are we here? You want to at some point, his cute is not going to be as cute. And you want to have kids and you're with someone who doesn't want any kids and hopefully he'll change his mind. No, he probably won't. 8 times out of 10, he probably won't. Every now and then there's that 2%, but that 2% too low to be balancing your entire life on. Let's pay attention to what we want. Or you know that you are family oriented and he's a loner and he wanted to just be you and him. He don't want y'all to have any family or be around a lot of family. That's a deal breaker for you. Know those things before you go into the dating scene, because if you don't, then you're just going to get caught up in the looks and the hype of whatever it is that person looks like or brings to the table or whatever. And then you're not going to actually pay attention to future or your desires or your goals. And you're going to sacrifice a lot of who you are and what you want just to be with this person. And that's not fair to you, nor is it fair to them. Also, you can ask trusted family members and friends, what do you think my strengths and weaknesses are? When you think of me in the dating scene, what you think is going to be I told my friend that. I was like, I don't think I asked her. I think she just told me when you start dating, you're going to have a problem with letting them in your space. You kind of picking right, because I actually did all of this. And now there's no I don't have room for you in my mind. I don't have room for you in this space. If we're going to get married, we need to go ahead and get another house. She's right. She's absolutely right based on me. Some women may not have that issue, but me, myself personally, I already don't have room for you. I already don't. You're required, and I'm saying that, but who knows with the right person how I'm gonna feel. But all of that to know, go with your trusted friends and family and just have conversations about, if you don't know certain things, or you just want to be curious about someone who's close to you, what they say about you as far as your strengths and weaknesses, then ask them. And again, be open to what they're saying. Don't go in combative. Don't feel like you know better, because they see you from a lens that you may not even see yourself. Especially if this is person that you love and you trust, they see you from a different lens that you may cut off whenever it comes to thinking about that certain part of your life, and trust them with that openness to be able to communicate that to you. And also that makes for amazing, deep relationships and friendships, because girl, I love talking to my friend and being I'm so proud that you know that I am not the friend for that trip. I am a relaxer when I go on vacation. She is not. And I love that she knows that I am not. And I love that I know that she is not. So that now we respect each other's relaxation. I just those type of things are okay. It's very okay to be different, and you don't have to be like everybody else in order for someone to give you that feedback and still have love for you. That's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to have weaknesses and areas of improvement. We all have them. If you feel like you don't, you tripping. We all have them. Know who you are, what your strengths, your weaknesses are, your boundaries, your standards, and non-negotiables when you are even thinking about dating. Find that stuff out ahead of time. It'll save you a whole lot of time and heartache. That's number one. Let's go to the number two. Your attraction for a certain type of person may be blinding you from seeing what's real. Let me explain. I got this from chapter 16 in Judges, where Delilah showed herself and her reasons as to why she showed her interest to Samson. She showed that 4 different times. She showed her true self 4 different times. And she wasn't even creative with it. Shawty was just throwing it out there. She did it pretty much the same way 4 different times. And go back and read that chapter. I literally did this, like did this. Okay, she showed it here, she showed it here. 4 different times she showed who she really was. And because Samson is so infatuated with the Philistine woman, or the Philistine woman, however you pronounce it, physically, shawty must have been bad. Like the Philistines must have been like junk in the what? Trunk, because blinders were put on when it came to Philistine women regarding him. And this was his 3rd round with a Philistine woman in his story. And we only in the thing for 3 chapters. So she showed her true colors 4 different times, literally almost the exact same way 4 different times. And this is how we can be in relationships sometimes. We can be so into checking off certain boxes, wanting a certain look, wanting a certain type of income, wanting a certain height, wanting a certain physical appearance, wanting a certain swag, whatever your thing may be. And I'm not reading you, baby. This read me, okay? I'm just sharing, and hopefully it helps you in your walk, okay? We are so into those surface things sometimes, and I'm not saying you don't need to be attracted to the person that you choose or the person that you're dating. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yeah, I feel like it definitely has to be there. However, we can be so heavily concerned with certain outer outliers that we miss the full purpose and miss the full person that we are spending time with. Like they say, love is blind. That song by Eve, now I know she didn't create it. I feel like there's so many people before her, I don't know, child, that's outside of my generation. That ain't got nothing to do with me. However, that whole term of love is blind and or lust is blind. I threw that in there. I don't know who else might have said it. You're looking at what you deem worthy and you're excited about the potential or the future. You're like constantly dreaming about building it. You know us women, we can build a whole life with a person in our mind alone and completely forget the fact that ain't the life that we live in and that ain't the person that we done dreamt about. we can fall in love on imagination alone. Like we are so like, if you don't do that, baby sis, hands to you. This part isn't for you, but we can definitely get caught in just looking at the potential, giving so much leeway to, oh, well, maybe he could work on this, or, oh, he could do that. What is he doing? What is he doing? Pay attention and take yourself out of your head, Ashley. Person watching this, take yourself out of your head and pay attention. What is he doing today? What did he do yesterday? What did he say and then do instead of say? What is this person showing me? Let me not get caught up in the beauty and in the wrappings of who this person or what I see. Let me actually pay attention to what he is actually doing, which takes me to the next point. Point number 3, pay attention to their fruit. This is in the Bible. It talks about, oh girl, I should have looked this up. Hold on, girl, let me not lie. Something about fruit. What's the scripture? Okay, it is Matthew 7:15 through 20. And it talks about beware of the false prophets. Some disguise themselves as harmless sheep, but are really vicious wolves. You can identify them by their fruit. Fruit meaning actions. What are their actions? What are they saying versus what are they actually doing? Is he saying, oh, I'm gonna take you out on a date or such and such, and he never take you out on a date? Like, or he could be saying, oh, I need to save up such and such and such, but you never see him saving up. You actually see him spending quite a bit. Oh, I'm gonna introduce you to my family and woo-de-woo, and you never been introduced to his family, or maybe it's only on phone calls, just very surface level. I'm gonna do this for you and I want to do that for you, but he never do this nor that. He's communicated certain goals, but you don't see him actually striving towards those goals. He talks about being God-fearing and talks about his religion, but you never see him actually do the things that you see actually build intimacy in that religion. Basically, pay attention to the actions. People say a lot of words. Okay. And a lot of the time, not a lot of people have self-awareness in who they actually are. Their representative is exactly who they're talking about them being. Oh, I'm loving, I'm caring, I'm patient, I'm very family oriented, but yet we've been talking for such and such however long, and I ain't heard you talk about going and being with your family at all, or actually see pictures of your family, or there's enough to know that there are holes, there are gaps in the story and who this person is presenting themselves to be. Pay attention to the fruit. Don't get caught up in their potential or the fairy tale dream of getting married and having kids, or it finally being your time. Honey, I completely understand. Been there, done that a few times, and have completely overlooked the fact that this ain't it. Red flag, yellow flag, red flag, orange canary, just it like missing all the things that I should have seen because I was so busy being up here and giving grace and attention and time and patience to someone who didn't deserve it or hadn't even worked hard enough to receive it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not. Which also takes me to my next point. I'm talking to Christian women or women that just do this in general. We got to stop being so nice. Point number 4, stop being so nice. Samson, I got this from the story because there were 2 different times where women did the exact same thing. Delilah and the first girl that Samson married, both Philistine women, they did the exact same thing to him, and he never actually dealt with the person. He never dealt with them. With the wife, his first or only wife, girl, it's so mixy back then. They just laid up with everybody, child. I don't know who was married to. But the first one, his wife, he got mad at her that he didn't even deal with her. He just dipped. And she ended up being given to somebody else to marry because her daddy was like, well, I thought you ain't like her anyway after you left, so I just gave her to your best man. It all ended up being used for the good because he started getting rid of the Philistines anyway. But all that to say, like, why not deal with the person that actually hurt you? Why not speak up for yourself and communicate the fact that you did not like what they did? I saw that in him and I saw that in Just don't. I forgot his name, but he's like a dating coach or something. And he talked about with Christian women, there's a difference between being nice and kind. And we feel like as Christians, we owe everybody niceties and grace and patience and kind of, no, we do not. We do not. Even Jesus was assertive. You don't have to be aggressive, but you do need to be assertive, especially as women, because it is so easy for someone to feel like because we are a woman and we may be gentle, especially Christian women, we may be gentle. We may want that soft life, or we may want to make sure our words are, we may not be doing a whole lot of cursing or all this other stuff. If you are doing a lot of cursing, your point gonna get across real quick. Amen. We just try to keep ourselves in a certain type of, walking close to the Lord. Amen. And not paying attention to the fact that even Jesus was assertive. Baby, he would not answer questions on purpose. I ain't got what. Why you asking me that? He will very easily ignore a question. He will walk away from somebody. He will go take a nap. Wasn't nobody gonna get him out of his rest time. Wasn't nobody gonna get him out of his time with the Lord. He would flipping over tables when they disrespected his daddy house. Like, he was assertive. He was assertive. He meant what he said, and no one felt the need to cross that boundary with him. We know how the story ended. However, Jesus was assertive. Jesus was not passive. By no means. So we do not have to be. You do not need permission to speak up for yourself. It literally has in the word to guard your heart. At all, above everything, guard your heart. You have the right to go off a little bit. Now, go off doesn't mean, I'm going to cuss you out because it doesn't mean you got to do all that. If you do, I understand. However, we all have different ways of communicating, and we all have different ways of getting our point across. You can get your point across in a beautiful way just by being yourself. That don't mean you have to go off the handle. And especially if you're going off the handle, that means you probably communicated your frustrations a little bit too late, because now you're pissed. Instead of just like handling it on time 1, maybe you can give grace to time 1. Okay, let me see. Time 2 come around, nip it in the bud, because no, that's what we're not going to do. And I'm, again, not saying this to y'all need to, this is something I have to tell myself. There are a lot of times where I have put dating to the back burner because I need to retrain myself in making sure that I communicate and stop being afraid to be me, because I'm scared somebody's going to walk away from me. Let them walk. Let them walk. Let them walk straight out of your life, honey. And if they try to turn around and come back, show them the door again. You can forgive. I'm being extra. I'm being a little extra. However, the point is, you do not have to be overly nice to anybody. You can show kindness. You can show love in ways that do not put yourself, your heart, your space, and your time at risk. Let's learn how to do that. I'm learning. I get it. The easiest way to learn is to enforce it and practice it in low risk ways. This is what my therapist told me. He was like, in low risk situations, situations, practice that, because in higher risk situations, you need to have developed that muscle so that when it comes time for you to really, really do your thing, it's already exercised. You're not stammering and trying to figure out, go ahead and exercise it in those low risk situations. So you are who you are and you show up as you are in those higher risk situations that you are concerned with regarding dating. It's like, bad facts. Coming from a black man, tell me exactly what to do. My therapist is a black man. And finally, point number 5 is, if you don't learn from your mistakes in dating, then you will experience it again. And 9 times out of 10 is going to come back worse than it was the last time. For example, I got this from reading the chapters about Samson, 13 through 16. It started in chapter 14 when everything happened with his first wife and she did exactly what she did. And with Delilah, he let it happen again. But he let it happen with Delilah 4 different times. 4 different times. He had been through this before and he didn't address it with the first woman. And then it was a prostitute somewhere in between. And then Delilah, with Delilah, she showed herself 4 different times and he let her. He saw it, hopefully. It was happening. And he let her do the same thing 4 different times and it ended up costing him his life. So you can save yourself so much time, heartache, strife, pain, money, trust, love, patience if you learn the first go around. Definitely the second, if it happened to get to the second one. Definitely learn the second time around. Because 9 times out of 10, if you allowed yourself to if we take the thing that my therapist told me and practice in low risk situations so that we can have that muscle developed in high risk situations, what you practiced in low risk situations, you have now developed in the high risk. So you've practiced letting things slide, or you've practiced allowing someone to cross your boundaries and not standing up for yourself, or settling for certain relationships and attention when you know that person is not for you. You've practiced that. So now the muscle has already been developed. And instead of trying to back out of that teaching that we've allowed ourselves to walk into, now we've allowed ourselves to go even further and even deeper in situations that are not meant for us in the first place. And so more is going to happen. If we just look at it that way, more is going to be stacked on top of those things that you practiced that got you to that place in the first place. That makes sense? So if you are with this man and as soon as you saw this video and I brought up this topic and immediately you thought about him, bam, he's wasting your time. That's exactly what you felt when you saw this title. Is go. God, let me watch this. Actually, let me watch this later on because I don't really feel like being read right now because maybe the thing too good. Or maybe I love the fact that he comes around and I'm not by myself at night. Or maybe he's in the house and I love not being in this space by myself. Or maybe he's helping me with a little bit of money and things are a little tight, a little hard. Or maybe he's stepping in between because you don't have a lot of family and you want to have somebody in the space that you're in. I'm sorry to be reading you, girl, but I needed to read. So I'm just saying, like, it happens. I'm not judging. I'm just hopefully providing some kind of information that will open the eyes to help you see that he's wasting your time and you are allowing him to. So if we do these things and we pay attention to these areas, these 5 different areas, then we can walk out of allowing anyone else to waste our time moving forward because your time is so valuable. You are so needed. You have so much talent. You are a beautiful woman. You do not have to settle for anyone who just gives you attention. You have the right to require whatever it is you require, especially if you're walking close to God and you know you're trying to stay lined up. And girl, even if you're not, you have the right to require whatever you require. You do not have to settle for anyone that is just like, okay, I'm gonna have you and then maybe a few others. Or you know he lying, or you know he's not gonna be home on time, or you know he's not going to help you even though you have done a whole lot of bending. You've done a lot of the bending for him and he will barely even come and tip a toe for you. You deserve better. And hopefully this video has helped you in some way. I want you to learn from this. I want myself to learn from my mistakes as well, because we practice what we're practicing. And if we're not practicing the right thing, we're setting ourselves up for a life that you may not have envisioned for yourself nor want for yourself because you've constantly practiced doing the wrong thing. So let's learn from our mistakes early and let's work on getting ourselves in those situations where we're growing, we're learning how to be okay with rejection, or we're learning how to be okay being alone. We're doing the things for ourselves and not waiting on anyone or our life to look a certain way or be perfect or be married or have kids before we do whatever the thing is. We are walking in purpose because we're here, because we're alive, because we're breathing. And I hope this helped the right person. I really do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, I'm not judging anybody. I'm putting forth in this video the things that I am having to learn for myself and making sure that I apply in with my situation in my life, so that I don't say none of the bull going forward. Okay, so I hope this was helpful, y'all. Definitely chat in the comments about this video. Let me know if this was helpful in any route or anything that might have stuck with you when watching it, and let's chat about it in the comments. Let me know if you want some more of these, like kind of I was read by the Bible real quick type Bible studies, and then I can see what we can do about adding some of those to the rotation. So I hope you guys enjoyed this again, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.